Hi everyone, welcome to Journey of Love with me, Harsha. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a lovely day out here on holy grounds, and as per usual, I absolutely love it here. It's on a Saturday and I am busy with my horses. I've actually checked up on them now, and they look so content and happy and enjoying themselves with their teff grass that I have just decided to let them be and enjoy their morning. And perhaps later in the afternoon I will work with them and do some body work and some grooming with them as well. But I just wanted to come on here very quickly regarding the realization that I had yesterday. And I understand that the moon is going to be in a full moon phase in a few days. I think on the 4th, well, today is the 4th and 5th of July, and it is going to be an eclipse as well. So there's going to be major changes, and a lot of old habits are going to die, and I'm very grateful for that, because when you are still stuck in your old habits and your old ways of thinking and your old patterns and your old toxic ways of looking at certain situations, it doesn't serve you and you remain stuck. It basically holds you from any kind of progress that you want to make in terms of career or finance or any kind of path that you would like to take. And I was watching something, and for the life of me I cannot remember which one it was, whether it was a series or whether it was, I think it might have been Heroes Reborn if I'm not mistaken. But there was something in there that said, and I cannot remember which episode it was, that once you let go of the old ways and the old patterns and all of that, you open up a path for much greater and bigger things in your life. And it could mean you basically reaching into your soul and moving into reality the potential that you actually have to pursue your goal in life, which is to serve the world in a way of love and making changes. And you can only do that when you've changed within. So a funny thing happened yesterday where I was just minding my own business and doing my own thing, and suddenly I realized that it was actually my masculine's birthday. In quarantine you actually forget what day it is, you forget what date it is, you forget what time it is. And I basically just it was late. It must have been around 9, I think, or 9:30 in the evening, that I realized that today is actually the 3rd of July and it's my masculine's birthday. So I don't forget, because my birthday is on the same day, right? So well, same date, 3rd as well. So it's hard to forget that. So I looked at the entire journey in my mind, right from the beginning right to the end, and I wanted to basically see where I was in terms of my emotions, in terms of my understanding of this entire journey, in terms of what I'm feeling towards them. Is my energy positive? Is my energy of love, or is my energy of toxicity? Is it of anger? Is it of resentment? So as I went through this entire journey, from the time we met and made contact right up until the very end, where there was this apology out of nowhere and then a complete disappearance again, right? So it's the same pattern that we are all too familiar with as feminines. We tend to latch on to a person because a lot of feminines, when they come into union, or when they meet their masculines, they're very wounded, excessively wounded, and as I think it was Liz who said this from Guided by Angels, when she explained the whole situation with her and her twin, who she thought was a twin, but who actually turned out to be a catalyst to get her to grow into this more healthy person, healing all her wounding and toxic patterns and becoming who she is today, to draw in someone who understands her, who it provides her with the love energy that is actually needed in any relationship, to be honest. So when I looked at this journey right up until the end, I found there was a deep sense of gratitude. More than anything else, I was extremely grateful for his inviting me into his life and for us growing together. Well, I hope in all sincerity, I hope that he also grew in this connection as much as I grew, as much as I have gained deeper spiritual understanding with myself, with God, with my self-love and self-worth, and how I fit into this world and what I can contribute. I hope that he's also had the same realization, the same awakening, the same understanding, the same force of love, because the last thing we want is to leave someone worse off than they were before you came into their lives, right? So we, at any given point in time, when anyone makes contact with you, no matter where they are, at what stage in their life, and what stage of their growth, that when it's time to part ways, that we actually are lighter, happier, more filled with love, understanding, a little bit more wisdom, and a little bit more healed than we were when we first encountered them in that journey. And when I found this gratitude, this immense gratitude in my heart, I felt at peace. It was as if it has now come full circle. This lesson has been learned. This chapter is closed, and it's okay to say goodbye. So there was no obsession, there was no addiction to wanting this person in my life again, or whenever, or whatever. I was okay with it being now over. And I think it takes a very long time to reach that point. It's you have to stop the illusion. That's the first thing, is stop the illusion that separation exists, right? Because separation is an illusion. The second illusion is that we're meant to be together forever in this lifetime. The third illusion is that such a strong spiritual connection cannot be felt with another person. And the fourth illusion is that no other person will meet this divine masculine, the thought that you had or perception that you had of this particular person. No one else can match up to them. That they, in your mind, you have them on a pedestal, and they are these perfect beings that you have seen, you have admired, you feel no one can touch them in any way. That is the fourth illusion. And I say this because just by accident, well, nothing is by accident, they say, okay? Everything is planned by God, by the divine. So just by divine intervention, I found this video by Abraham Hicks, and I will be putting the link to the video down below in the description box, so you can click on it and you can read about or listen to it. And I'm not really an Adam Hicks follower. I don't really listen to all the videos. I'm not a student or a scholar or anything on Abraham Hicks, but that particular video popped up, and it was around March, before the new moon. And I looked at it and I thought, well, everything that comes up, that pops up as a recommendation, you know, maybe I should look at it and see what it has to say. So when I opened it and when I watched it, this was, I think it was titled How to Attract a Partner or Your Soulmate or something into Your Life. And I then started to watch this. It was about 10-15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a woman who asked a question. And she said, you know, she's found herself in situations where she has found a perfect love at that phase in her life. And it doesn't last very long. Within 3 months or so, 6 months, it fizzles out and it's over and they part ways. And then it is such a problem trying to move on from that, you know, thinking about all the good things, and then of course mixing all of those emotions with some resentment and some anger. You know, some relationships don't really end very well, and some relationships end on a good note, you know, where there's maturity, there's understanding. You come together and you say, look, you know, I believe that at this point in time this isn't serving me, or I've kind of reached my saturation point in terms of growth, and I really feel that, you know, we need to part ways and see where life will take us, you know, kind of thing. I know there are probably better ways of saying it, but, you know, all green me, I don't know much about that. But what I'm trying to say is that some relationships end very amicably and in a good way, whereas some don't. You know, it's explosive, it's dramatic, it's all kinds of pain and hurt and all of that. So this woman said the trouble that she had was, well, you listen to it, right, as it goes on, as I'll put the link in, so you listen to it. But basically, the key that really helped me was looking at focusing only on the good qualities of the individual, right, of the person that you love. So what was it that I loved about my masculine? And what I did one day was, because it said, you know, look at all the good qualities, and then what you do is you try and focus on that and try and manifest all the good that you had in that relationship into a new one with someone else. And in manifesting that something new with someone new, you will be guaranteed that the universe will listen to you and will give you that and so much more. And that is how you will get to a point where you will have, and it's not a bad thing to have many relationships along the path of your life, along your journey, because it makes sense now to me, right? It makes perfect sense to me how you would go from your teenage high school love to your college years, to your young adult life, to maybe your midlife. And you know, some people get very lucky and they marry very early, you know, just after college or after high school or whatever, and they're together forever. You know, that's like a stroke of luck. But there are people who kind of don't gel and they split, you know, and it could be after a few years, it could be after a few months, but then they move on. And when you notice that your relationships are getting better, that is a good sign. But when you find that your relationships are getting progressively worse with each new person, the addictions are heavy, the obsession's heavy, there's negative attitude in the relationship, the person doesn't have enough self-love or self-confidence or anything like that, that means that you are dragging and attracting into your life all of those woundings instead of healing them, and then moving into healthier patterns. So when you take time after a breakup to actually heal yourself, right, and move on to something, and you then eventually, when you healed, you focus on the positive aspects of the person, the positive traits, the positive qualities, and you draw all of that and all the things that I loved about my masculine. You know, I've never believed, I never believed that I could ever speak about my masculine in such a positive light after he broke my heart like this. You know, it's like I'm so grateful that he was who he was, whether he was wearing a mask or not, whether all the things that he did and said and, treated me the way he treated me when we were together, whether it was real, genuine or not, I liked what he presented me with and how he treated me when we were together. But how he treated me when we were not together, I didn't like that. So all the pain, all the anger, all the anguish and everything comes from when we were trying to find our connection again. And, that was not very pleasant. But being with him, in his company, all of those lovely evenings, those lovely talks, those ways of working, even if it was, because let's face it, we were not really in a relationship, so to speak. It was more of a friendship. Started off as a relationship, promised me the world and to marry me, and then vamos, completely went off and ran away. And so that period I held very precious, the time that we actually dated and we were together. That was really wonderful for me. I have never been treated so well in my entire life before. It was the best times that I've spent and experienced. And of course, because I never really dated full on, since my divorce, it was just me, myself, my children, my mom, and looking after everything and keeping the fort up. But sorry, I've seen 2 dogs on the property which don't belong to us, so they're probably one of those hunting dogs again, coming to hunt the hare. But they're not barking or anything, so that's okay. So they can tour, it's all right. So when I dated my masculine for the very first time, that was actually the first time I actually dated proper, right? And it was a beautiful experience. So I took with me all of those good things, those good qualities, those good moments, those wonderful atmospheres that he created, when we were together, were beautiful. Whether that was a mask or not, or his tactic to kind of, get laid, that is something I don't know. Maybe it's the way he is with the women to get what he wants, right? Because who wouldn't fall for that? But it was beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with taking that into something new, right? And saying that this is what I really liked, and I would like to have that in a new experience with someone new. And to be honest, it does work. It actually works. Everything that you wanted and seen and experienced and loved, you can have it again, all over again. And it's absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm saying that not because I'm in a new relationship. I'm not in a new relationship. I have not physically met anyone new. I have had an experience where I have encountered a soul connection with somebody, and when I look at what the person's real surroundings, life, everything is about, I tend to get into a space of shock. It's like I can see that this really happens, but it's not like I'm going to be with this person. It feels like it's impossible, right? To an extent, it feels like an impossible situation. It's not like it's going to happen, but what I'm saying is that now that I know that it's possible to manifest in such a way, perhaps there will be another situation with someone else who I will find along the way, I don't know when, who will be able to be that and more. So I'm not getting myself into a tiz. I'm not getting myself in any kind of stress situation or anything. God is amazing, and anything can happen at any given time. So all I'm saying, girls, if you're listening, and gentlemen, if you are listening to this, it's just basically saying to you that there is hope. don't feel that if someone has left you, if someone has broken your heart and didn't fulfill their promises as they said that they would, don't lose heart. Don't be upset. Don't be sad. Be happy. Be excited. You know, call in you. I don't know if I don't know how to explain this, is that what you have within you to manifest things, it is so powerful. If you'd only given yourself this much of faith, this much of time and attention to honing in and focusing on what you really want, you would see it happen in your life. And so, you know, all I'm saying is that I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful because, you know, it's like my masculine and more in this person. And it's like, although I know it's like never going to be possible to even meet, right? To even meet, it's not going to be possible. I don't think it would be possible. Firstly, you know, it's like impossible, right? But with God, nothing is impossible. However, you know, we have to use logic, and we have to use our sense of understanding, you know, that there are certain things in life that have come to us to just show us and open this door, to say the door is now open. You can see how your manifestations actually work. You know, everything about this person, this new soul connection, everything is like everything that I've written down in a book, you know. And I did not know this person at all before. I did not know this person. Well, I knew, but I didn't quite know. You know what I'm saying? It's like I knew the person existed, like way back when. So it's like now suddenly I was like forced to, through my ears and to my solar plexus, to pay attention, to realize what this connection is. And it doesn't happen very often to me, you know, with such connections. And I know I have recognized each and every soul connection in my life to understand what it is, but also to understand what the contract is all about, what the soul contract is all about. So in this situation, it's just basically growing, I think, you know, just growing further, growing and learning and understanding and being our best selves that we could possibly be. You know, there's no expectation for anything at all, because, you know, that's like at the moment not possible. Right? Not possible. I'm not going to demand in fact, I don't think I could ever demand, right? I don't do that sort of thing. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful to have a friend at a distance like that, you know. A good soul, a very good soul, an honest soul, you know. And it's lovely to interact with such a person. So, you know, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And all I'm here to say to you guys is don't give up hope. If one situation ends, don't think it's the end of the world. Manifest everything that was great in that relationship, but you need to heal first. Heal yourself. You know, whatever void that you've been feeling, whatever sadness that you've been feeling, or addiction that you've been feeling, like needing someone for something, right? You need to heal that. I mean, it's taken me from 2015 to 2020. It's 5 years that it's taken me to look deep within, to heal anything that is negative and toxic. And I move into a space where I'm not needy. I don't get easily angry about certain things. I'm completely understand relationships better, I understand people better, I understand myself better, and I'm in a healthy space. And when you're in a healthy space, the relationship is very easy, you know, and you need a good base, you need a good foundation of really strong friendship before anything else, right, occurs. And, you know, you may have feelings and whatnot popping up here and there, but because you're healed, you have this way of controlling it and, you know, making sure you don't run away with yourself. That's very important. So healthy relationships, healthy friendships, healthy emotions, not getting depressed about anything. I know this is like no way in hell that well, no way on earth that I'm actually going to meet this person, but to see if anything could happen. But I feel like it's not going to, so I'm not going to get upset or depressed about it, because I know that everything and anything and all the good things that is there can manifest in someone else who I can connect with, who I can contact, who I can speak to, who I can, have a proper friendship with, and then to see whether or not, this can go anywhere. The thing is, the important thing is, having a soul connection is actually very vital for any kind of relationship to be sustainable, because at a soul level there's so much more that you can connect to, so much more that you can connect with, in terms of understanding, where you're not unhealed, and you're not in a desperate kind of attitude, if I can call it that. Yeah, because soul connections is something that keeps you calm, keeps you centered. Yeah, and you know what, initially it's full of anxiety, it is full of stress, because like you can't understand what is going on, like, because in your mindset you already have this lie that no other person but your masculine can give you that soul connection. So you already have lied to yourself that you can't feel it with anyone else. But the truth is, you actually can. You can feel a great connection with someone new. And because I've experienced it, I believe that if this new situation, does not materialize or manifest or whatever it is, that it will show up in someone else, maybe in another few years. Who knows? I don't know, right? So all I'm saying is, guys, don't lie to yourselves. Don't fill yourselves with the illusion that twin flame journeys normally feed you with. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life. Keeping it on hold and keeping yourself stuck in toxic situations. You know how some of these masculines breadcrumb you all the time. You know the saying, breadcrumbs don't feed you, they keep you starving. So, my dear ladies and gentlemen, you deserve so much better, and I pray that you become healthier and stronger to get to where you need to be, in a healthy state of love in all relationships, not just one particular romantic relationships, but with everyone. So that's my little bit that I had to share. Thank you so much for joining me, and God bless and have fun.